Welcome to all participants. This webinar is about session 4, the fourth session of the training. The topic of this session is how to manage stress and hunger through emotional awareness. The aim of this session is to support people with intellectual disabilities to develop stress and hunger management reduction skills through 5 steps, 5 skills: emotional awareness, impulse control, causal analysis, empathy, and reaching out. The expected outcomes of this training session are 5. In particular, the first is to recognize and identify emotions. The second one is the ability to control impulsiveness and being able to allow the emotion. The third one is the ability to understand the reasons for that feeling and deal with it. The fourth reason is being able to understand the other's emotions. Finally, the fifth outcome is being able to receive and give emotional support. This session consists of 2 meetings. The first one is a group meeting, while the last one is an individualized meeting. The group meeting has a duration of 2 hours, and a maximum of 6 participants can participate to the session. Why this session is important? In terms of employability, anger and stress management are crucial skills to be able to be successful included in work environment. Emotional awareness will allow for a better inclusion and reduce the possibility for disruptive behaviors. In terms of mindfulness, the ability to manage anger and stress will allow trainees to better react and deal with stressful situations that may arise in the working place. In terms of importance, the ability to control one's reactions and to deal with emotions will have a positive impact in the work environment and in everyday life situations, enhancing job inclusion and quality of life. The opening session has 2 parts. The opening of this session has 2 parts. Part 1 consists in reflecting and feedback on the homework done in relation to the previous session, to the homework exercises related to the previous session. While part 2 consists in doing a relaxing exercise. The relaxing exercise is named Free Thoughts and consists in watching the drawing of a sky, of the picture of the sky with clouds for 2 minutes. So the instructors should give to each trainees, each participants, this picture and ask them to watch at the sky for it and and the clouds for 2 minutes. Then the instructor should tell the trainees to place the picture of the sky beside them and try to close their eyes. Then trainees should imagine that they are lying on the beach and looking at the sky. The clouds pass and cross the sky without stopping. Every time a thought passes through the mind of the trainees should try to put it inside a cloud and observe how it flows in the sky. Thoughts, both the beautiful ones and the bad ones, pass and do not stop. It is in their nature to wander and cross the mind. And at the end of the relaxing exercise, at the end of the relaxing experience, the participants, the trainees, are invited to share how they felt during the moment. The session, the fourth session, session 4, is composed of 3 exercises, which are well detailed on the trainees' manual. The aim of all these exercises is to be able to step out of automatic pilot, and return to calm in stressful situations, identifying alternatives and the underlying reasons for an emotion. All these exercises are based on the worksheet 1 and the worksheet 2, who are on the trainees' manual. The exercise starts with the reading of a story. The story is on the trainees' manual, and now I'm going to read it. The title of the story is The Hole in the Street, dealing with the automatic pilot. The story is composed of 2 chapters. Chapter 1 tells, you are walking on a street. You do not see the hole on the street. You fall into the hole. You are lost, and it is not your fault. It will take you a lot of time to get out of the hole. Then you are walking on a street. The street has a hole. You pretend you do not see the hole. You fall into the hole again. You cannot believe that you fell again into the hole. You feel it is not your fault. It will take you some time to get out of the hole. Chapter 3. You are walking on a street. You know that the street has a hole. You see the hole, but you fall into it again. It is a habit. You know that hole. You know it is not your fault. You get out of it quickly. Chapter 4. You are walking on a street. You see the hole. You go around the hole. Chapter 5. You take a different street. So, after reading the story, the instructor should point out that we sometimes are running in an automatic way with an automatic pilot. So we are enabled to do things in a different way. We do them because we are used to do them. This can happen with our emotions. By telling this story, the instructors will enable the trainees to understand how they can break the automatic pilot and return to calm in situations where we need to deal properly with our emotions. The exercise continues with a second part. The second part is named Stage 2 on the trainer's manual, while it is named Part B on the trainee's manual. This part consists in identifying emotions, and it is based on the worksheet in trainee's manual. There are some emotions that may be difficult to manage and make us react in an appropriate way. So, the instructor should give an example that is work-related. For example, during the coffee break at work, some colleagues never invite me for a coffee, but they invite others. The emotions that can be considered are sadness, loneliness, anger, anxiety, fear, but also other emotions. So the instructor should leave the possibility of including other emotions not listed. Now I'm going to show you worksheet 2. This is the worksheet 2. So participants are invited to fill every cell by answering to these questions. For example, how do they make you feel? What do you think when they happen? What do you need? What do you think that others may need? How do you react? How can you better deal with the situation? Then relate the story with personal situations. So give to each trainee the worksheet 2 and ask them to think about personal examples and reflect on them. What is the biggest hole you have in your work? What emotions do you feel? The instructor should ask the same questions. The final exercise of this session is exercise 3 on the trainee's manual and is the stage 4 on the trainer's manual. The first part is to respond instead of react. How to deal with your emotions and how to control them. Trainers, instructors should guide the trainees into the reflection using the RAIN approach. The RAIN approach consists of 4 parts. The fourth part is to recognize what is happening and what I'm feeling. The second part is to allow or accept the emotion and do not run away from it. The third part is to investigate or analyze the feelings without judging them. Finally, the fourth part of the RAIN approach is to nurture ourselves, taking care of our feelings. The session has a last exercise that is named the stop for a minute approach. This exercise will teach how to diffuse a situation that may result on an emotion or behavior that trainees want to get away from. It is very useful because it will only take a minute. So, the trainers, the instructors, should tell trainees to find a comfortable position. If people are comfortable with it, they can close their eyes, focus on the breathing, and inhale and exhale. The trainers, the instructors, could also use other mindfulness exercises. For example, breathing meditation, 5 senses meditation, soul fit meditation, loving kindness meditation, moving meditation. The main objective of doing these relaxing exercises, these mindfulness exercises, is to be present, focusing on breathing, getting away from thoughts and emotions, focusing on the be instead of the do. There are a lot of video tutorials on YouTube that can be watched in order to learn how to apply these relaxing mindfulness exercises with the trainees, with the participants. All these links are reported on the trainer's manual. As for all other sessions, also the fourth session has homework exercises. So trainees at home must fill in the worksheet 2 that was already used during the session. They must do it for 1 emotion per day. Trainees should also do the stop for a minute practice at least once a day. Finally, trainees should be encouraged to try the mindfulness exercises at home. The session closes with the same relaxing exercise that was used at the beginning, but with a different ending. So tell the trainees to watch the drawing of the sky with clouds for 2 minutes. Then tell trainees to sit beside them and try to close their eyes. Tell trainees to imagine that they are lying on the beach and looking at the sky. The clouds pass and cross the sky without stopping. Whenever a thought crosses your mind, trainees can try to put it inside the cloud and observe how it flows in the sky. Both beautiful and ugly thoughts pass and do not stop. It is in their nature to wander and cross the mind. The ending part is different from the same part of the first relaxing exercises, of the opening relaxing exercise, because the trainers should ask the trainees to open their eyes and to fix the drawing with the sky in clouds for about 3 minutes. Whenever the trainees realize that they are distracted and their mind has begun to think of something else, they can color a cloud. At the end of the experience, the participants are invited to share how they felt during this moment. After doing the closing relaxing exercise, trainees should be invited to ask them some reflecting questions and fill in a table. Now I'm going to show you this table. This is the table that trainees will find on their manual and that can be used to do the final reflections, to ask the final questions about what they have learned. So, what did we do today? What did we learn? What did you like most? Which part of the session would you like us to repeat? After the group meeting, trainees will attend an individualized meeting where the trainer can discuss with the trainee about the content of the group meeting, do some further or added training on the homework exercises, take or give feedback, and collect data about the trainee's progress. This individualized meeting has a duration of 30 minutes. In order to enhance the knowledge about the contents, the topics of this session, trainers are invited to visit these two websites and also to watch some videos about the relaxing exercises, the meditation exercises, the rain approach, and the stop for a minute practice. Trainers could also consult a book that was recently published and where they can find useful readings for enhancing the knowledge on how to realize, how to perform this session in a better way. This session is not very long for what concerns the content. It has a duration similar to all other sessions, but the contents are not several because the exercises have a long duration. So the webinar is approaching the ending, and if there are some questions about some topics that were addressed in this webinar, I'm here also to give you further clarifications, further information, and so on. So feel free to ask me every questions you want. You can write your questions on the chat room of the GoToMeeting window. So if there is not any question, I think I can terminate the webinar. I hope this webinar was interesting for all of you, and I hope also that this webinar will be interesting and useful for all trainers that will listen it in another time.